Sure. Should probably clean. I didn't clean the lens, but I am now. There we go. I'm gonna put us live. Welcome everybody on YouTube. Uh, I had one. I hope it went live to the right one. All right, here we go. I will pull out the things. You can see what's happening. Get it through the ring light. Ooh, I like that. Let's see. Put that in. I think that's working pretty good, wouldn't you? I don't understand the. There we go. All right, we'll drop it down. Nope, that's showing the. We'll pull it up. And then I will. Okay, we're having a thunderstorm. Trying to get. That should do it. I'll watch it, check it out, and we're almost getting ready to go. All right, I got that baby going. Let's sit close. All right, let's see what's happening on YouTube. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. 1792 Sweet Wheat. All right, we got YouTube here. Hit that, hit that, hit that. Okay. Ooh. Oh, really? I don't remember. I thought it was catching the whole. Let me see. It looked like to me it was catching the whole screen on this thing, and then okay, it's not. I think that should be good though. That should be. And once I get that, now I got to wait for myself to sit back down. All right, everybody. All right, let me do the welcome. Welcome, everybody. Let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on tonight. We monitor comments. All right, so I got the comments monitored. That's much better. I'll put that up here. If I do this right. Let's turn it right. All right, I got that there. Got that there. We're ready. Let me quick. Ready there. I'm ready here. What? Yeah, I gotta go like this. Oh my gosh, it's stopping me. Here I am. Really? That's the. Okay. That's good to know. Oh, so when I go to share, I should be able to see both. Let's see. That's there, and that's there. Good. And then we'll find out once I go to do it. All right. I'll find out. All right. So, did I really bump? I am so mad at myself. I had that perfect. And now I'm not going to do a whole podcast with it cockeyed because I did it because I bumped it. There we go. Nope, it should be a little bit more. There. All right, we're set up, ready to go. So I could start my podcast. There we go. I'm in it. All right. Everything's there, looking good. Having myself a little pour of foolproof. Cheers, Randy. Ross, that's Walker Cyrus. Always try to have. All right. Cheers, Steve. Good to see you tonight. Cheers, John. All right. Ridgewood Reserve became Ridgemont Reserve. Same delicious bourbon, just different names to appease the legal entities. We got already tons of stuff. Oh, wow. All right. All right. This is going to get going. So I got to do a little bit on whatever. I got to cover some of the bills. First of all, want to thank our sponsors for all that they do for us. Without our sponsors, this would be a very, very draining thing to do. Initially, we did it and we were doing it a certain way, but our sponsors have allowed us to become the number 3 whiskey podcast out of 60 in the world, and so that's really a kind of a cool thing. And the number 31 out of 100 bourbon podcasts. I'm happy with that. Or no, actually, it was 16 this year. It was 31, then 16. So 16 and 3. We're moving up the podcast list. So thanks to our sponsors, but our sponsors are the Spirit of French Lick down in French Lick, Indiana. The Spirit of French Lick consists of bourbons and ryes and specialty whiskeys that Alan Bishop distilled while he was the master distiller there. We have this one right here, the Lillian Sinclair, which is the daughter of Lee W. Sinclair. And Lillian Sinclair is the opposite on a 4 grain. Instead of it being corn, wheat, corn, rye, oats. It's corn. Instead of it being corn, wheat, oats, and barley, it is corn, rye, oats, and barley. So that this is a 4 grain. This was Alan Bishop's passion project. Lillian Sinclair, this is our barrel pick that we did. Still have a few more left if anybody's interested in tasting it. And we did this particular barrel pick as one of the last barrel picks that Alan Bishop did before he left to Old Homestead Distillery, where he's at now. But the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana, if you're in there, they're still doing their thing, tours and tastings, and Alan Bishop's fantastic bourbons and ryes are still available there. Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Ryan Lang has done a phenomenal job with his Michelin brand. Right now, he's in 48 states. You can get this on the shelf. And right now, they are featuring the Michelin brand, their pumpernickel rye, their wheat whiskey, and their wheated bourbon, all at cask strength. Fantastic whiskeys. He has expanded in the Columbus area to a massive distillery unlike Ohio has ever seen before. You got to check that out. He still has his craft distillery with his service bar restaurant. So if you're in the Columbus area, you got to check out Middle West Spirits. Then we have Whiskey Thief. I was just down there this past weekend. Whiskey Thief, their bourbons and ryes. It's a barrel pick all day, every day. You walk in, there are 2 stations at the Three Boys Farm in Frankfort, Kentucky, and 1 station in the New Louisville tasting room. But you could pick from 5 barrels at each station. Each barrel has its unique mash bill, and they have wheated mash bill now. They have 3 ryes, a wheated no, not 3 ryes, 3 rye bourbons, a wheated bourbon, and 1 rye. Spectacular. I'm not a huge fan of rye, but I am a huge fan of Whiskey Thief Distilling Company's rye. And Walter Zausch is just doing such a fantastic job. They just hired Lisa Roper Wicker. They just hired Benjamin Eves to go along with Kelly Tennille and Derek Spraveri, the team for distilling. And I don't know how you can, but their growth is happening, and it's just like I was there on Saturday, and when you go there, the experience on the farm, they've got a food truck, they've got out there, they've got live music, they've got an outdoor area for where you can sit down, smoke a cigar. There's fire pits for the evening, and then they've also got cornhole. It's just an all around great experience. People having fun, enjoying good food, good music, and great bourbon all 7 days a week, all day, every day, barrel pick. The whiskey is uncut and unfiltered. It's an experience like no other. Check out their Louisville and their Frankfurt locations. That brings us to Alan Bishop. If you have Ghosts, you have everything in One Piece of the Time Distilling Institute. The One Piece of the Time Distilling Institute on YouTube, you got to check it out if you like distilling at all. It's pretty damn, it's so informative. It's so down to earth. It's something that anybody who's interested in distilling, either as a home distiller, there's tips. He talks about how he deals with yeast. He talks about how the chemical breakdown that happens during the fermentation. I mean, he gets technical. He knows so much about distilling. You got to check it out. And then if you have Ghosts, you have everything, which is my favorite podcast that I listen to consistently. I mean, it combines the best of the spirits world with the spirits world. You're talking about ghosts and alcohol and everything that happens within. Fantastic podcast. You got to check it out. So the last one is Rosewood Bourbons and Ryes. If you see them around, you should pick it up. Rosewood is Jason Giles revamped and brought back the brand. It Frame in the movie Shawshank Redemption was drinking that fateful night when he broke the whiskey bottle, and they were able to get the fingerprint that put him away for life. So, check out that brand. Jason does a great thing. He buys and distills in Kentucky, and he brings it back from Kentucky and Indiana, lets it down to Houston, lets it age at least one season in the hot Houston summer, and then he puts it out. And what he puts out is pretty damn good. So you got to check out Rosewood Bourbons and Ryes. All right, so there you go, everybody, for that. I'm ready to get this going. This is Sweet Wheat night. I've got last year's Sweet Wheat that a friend of mine picked up, which could have been from the year before. And then I've got this year's Sweet Wheat ready to go. I am going to barrel bottle break down them both to see what the difference is year to year. But all I could tell you is that tonight we have Ross Cornelison monitoring the comments tonight. And how often do you have the master distiller in the comments on Facebook? It's fantastic. If you want to ask him any specific question, feel free to do that. But I think my opinion, as soon as Ross got there, the brand, I don't know whether it's because I got to know him and then what, but I'm just telling you what I remember of 1792, I did like, but I now would say when I get these different batches, I just find that I love I love it. I mean, it's a favorite brand of mine, and I'm so glad that I got to meet Ross and him be able to do the podcast in the past, and then hopefully into the future. All right, so here we go. I am going to start this. There'll be a little 30-second ad, which will then lead into our theme song, which will then lead into our podcast. Here we go. just happened? All right. We get a little wild and show of fun watch. We have a few drink after and tell songs of the tennis. Yeah, with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising the hell and making some noise. Yeah, with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we're here to have fun and hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here tonight. I'm here and excited about our 1792 Sweet Wheat podcast. Very excited. We've actually got John. I'm going to make sure. I got to see if I got to reload this. It's like all of a sudden I'm paused. Okay, there we go. That's crazy. All right, that's there. So let's go back into that.
On pause.
Nope.
Okay, there we go.
We're having technical difficulties.
All right, that's there. So let's go back into that. On pause.
Nope.
Okay,
Oh my gosh.
We're having technical difficulties. All right, that's there. So let's go back into that.
Okay, I saved it. Sorry. What did we expect? That's what we get here on the podcast. So we've got the 1792 Sweet Wheat tonight that we are going to barrel bottle breakdown, and then I have another bottle. But John Ritz, I wasn't sure if it was from last year or the year before, but John said, "Hey, check it out. Check out the laser tag." So I'm going to try and get the glasses on and see if I could find out which one it is on the side of the bottle. I'm pretty sure I am all good on all things. Welcome to the podcast tonight. Like I said, Ross Cornelison will be chiming in. He's in the comments. I also have Greg Schneider in there, who's given us a little bit of insight because he was at Brown and Foreman when it came out as Ridge 1792 Ridgemont Reserve, or let's see, what did he say? Brown Foreman, he goes, was from a guy I worked with, was the master distiller when 1792 began. After a lawsuit from Brown Foreman, 1792 Ridgewood Reserve, which is one of the most famous bottles out there, became Ridgemont Reserve. So same delicious bourbon, just a different name to appease the legal entities. So that was really cool to get, some background like that. And then also we have Ross Cornelison on, and I'm sure that if anybody has questions, you can jump in. I'm sipping on right now the 1792 Full Proof. We've got some people, and I'm getting ready to really kind of get into this. But remember, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We got our Glencairns and our t-shirts available. Contact me and I could send it out or order off the website. Would be glad if anybody did that. All right, we'll take care of you. Remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, along with Apple, iHeart, and Spotify, or any of the major podcast formats. Make sure you check us out, whether you listen to us or you watch us live or watch us after the fact. Make sure you like, listen, comment, subscribe, and leave good feedback. That good feedback is so important on Apple. And, all I'm going to say is just, if you like what you see, support us. And then that gets us through that part of the podcast. The 1792, that's probably what, let's see if I can get this done. We got that over with. Exit full screen. Go up here. All right. There we go. Look at that. Much more professional for everybody on YouTube and Facebook. It's a screen. I've got some information on 1792. Now, you've got Greg Schneider and you've got Ross Cornelison. And Ross says Greg Davis was before me and before Danny, before Harg, and before Pierce. So you've got, a good amount of people doing it. And then let's see. Ross Cornelison says a legend. There you go for what's been going on and facility understand. So one of the things, I'm just reading off the comments because I'm sorry, everybody. I'm interested in the comments because we got Greg and Ross giving us some really, really good information. But I do have some. So here's the just the rundown off the the history. 1792, Barton's Distillery, located in Bardstown, Kentucky, has a rich history dating back to 1879 when it was established by Tom Moore. It's the oldest fully operational distillery in Bardstown, and it is situated in the heart of bourbon country. The distillery is named in honor of the year Kentucky became a state. Founded in 1879 by Thomas Moore, the distillery operated under his name until Prohibition. During Prohibition, the distillery was shut down and its whiskey inventory was sold to other distilleries. It reopened in 1934, led by Tom Moore's son, Con Moore. The distillery was later sold and renamed Barton, a name chosen by Oscar Getz, who acquired the distillery with Lester Abelson in 2009. The Sazerac Company purchased the with Lester Abelson in 2009. The Sazerac Company purchased the distillery and reverted the name back to Barton, which is now known as Barton 1792 Distillery. The 1792 brand, originally named Ridgemont Reserve 1792, was introduced by Barton and later became just 1792 bourbon after legal challenges from Brown and Forman, which Greg just noted. In 2018, a portion of the Rickhouse barrel aging warehouse collapsed, resulting in a significant spill and a kill-off of fish. The distillery has since redesigned its storage concept with new, more resilient warehouses. Barton's 1792 distillery continues to produce a variety of bourbons, including the flagship 1792 bourbon and very old Bartons. The distillery also produces the Thomas S. Moore line, which features cash finished bourbons. So Ross Cornelison is the current master distiller there. And it's been since meeting Ross, I've really feel that the taste of the bourbon more coincides to my palate. And it's wonderful industry. It's kind of cool. So Ross got me even more excited than I was for the brand. So we kind of just went through that little history really quick. Ross identified all the distillers before him that worked before him on through Sazerac's purchase. Now Sazerac is the same company that purchased that has Buffalo Trace, that owns Buffalo Trace. They also own the A. Bowman Distillery in Virginia. So that's I want to say, is that, wait, hold on. I'll tell you, I could be completely wrong on what I called them. That's the line, but I will tell you, it should say, produced by A. Samuel Bowman Distillery. So it's the A. Smith Bowman Distillery in Spotsylvania County, Fredericksburg, Virginia. So that's kind of cool. So Sazerac has a lot of different things. And then when you go down to New Orleans, they have a nice, awesome presence there also. But I really feel that, so what happened, I believe just a couple years ago, because me and Super Nash did go and do the tour that they closed the distillery to the public and made it just a working distillery. Yes, they are the A. Smith Bowman Distillery. Thank you, Ross. So it used to have tours and tastings, but Sazerac decided to, whatever it needed to do, it was going to put it into the distilling process. So it isn't, and even when you took the tour, when it was open, you got the feeling that this was uh, designed to make bourbon. It wasn't designed to show off what was going on. It was very much factory-like distillery, and a lot of people love that part about it. Now, there was a when you're at the end of the thing, they had a room in a house, which was a gift shop, and you got and the tasting room was nice. But the actual working of the distillery, even after when we came down to do the podcast with Ross, and it was not last year, but the year before Kentucky. I can't believe it's going to be 2 years in September, but you could tell. I mean, Ross's office is right up there. There's, I mean, it's not a frills. It reminds me a lot of Aaron Harris's office at the Green River distillery in Owensboro. It's not so much what would you say, a tour. It's got the ability, and in both places, I mean, if they wanted to do it, they could, but as of right now, there are no tours of the Barton's distillery. But but I feel ever since they did that, and then when Ross came aboard, that the quality of the taste of their whiskey is designed, or it's really come through for the current day bourbon drinker. I mean, and the Sweet Wheat brand, it's been out, and there's just right now this brand is what when you talk to people in the bourbon community, everybody loves Sweet Wheat. I mean, we've got Matt Leisen on here that would probably die for Sweet Wheat. So love to do this podcast, and we're going to get going a little bit. I'm just going to sip a little bit more of my 1792 Foolproof. The Foolproof story is when I met Nash, and we met through the Booker's painting, and I had painted a Booker's painting for the beams. I presented it. I got it signed at Kentucky 2019 Kentucky Bourbon Festival in Fred and Freddie's man cave. And then I also presented them with the painting that now hangs in their kitchen. And when they signed it, I put it up online, and Super Nash said he had that bottle that I painted in. I took a bottle off the internet and I painted it into the painting, and he had the actual bottle. So he came up. Well, we met that way, and he talked about coming up. But in the meantime, he was able to purchase a store pick of the 1792 Foolproof, which was at the time the Jim Murray's bourbon of the year. And there was no Foolproof around here anywhere. There was barely any 1792. So he sent us up a case, and our group, basically, we were able to get it and get it to everybody. I was able to give, whoever wanted a bottle, I was able to get it for, and we did a tasting and everything with it. Now that bottle I still have today, and that barrel pick had some heat. Now the one I'm drinking now is the 20. I believe it's the 2020. Well, this is what Ross or not what John was saying. I should be able to take my. I've got it. I've got my handy light. Let's see what we got here. Turn it that way. Let's make sure I can. Oh, I can. So let's see if I can find out what this. It's signed. Okay. So this was L2016B57. So is it L20? Does that mean that's the 2020? I don't know. 2016? No. 201661517045. So maybe John can help me on that one. I got that for that foolproof. I'll look at the sweet wheat since I've got the light out. And this one's L23. So that's the 23. So that one was a 20, that foolproof. So that was the year. That's the foolproof signed by Danny Kahn. And then this is the 25. So this actually is the 23 sweet wheat, right? Is that what? Yep. All right. So there we go. John, thanks for letting me did it. That's awesome. And that's the 20. So this is the bottle that I believed it was the 2020 Jim Murray. Sounds like a 2020, which so Ross, was the 2020, was that the year Jim Murray, or was it 2019? I think it might have been 2019. That might have been, but Danny signed it, and I thought it was cool. We hadn't yet gotten big enough to start meeting people. All right. Knows how to make great bourbon as well as yes. And Ross, really, I mean, Ross, you're doing such a fantastic job. But tonight, let's get into now I finished that story. So he sent up that bottle of foolproof at that time. It's over there. I'm not getting up and doing it, but that's probably a 2019. But it's a store pick from 2019. So there you go. Not the blend that won Jim Murray's bourbon of the year, but I really felt that really helped the brand. And let's get into the barrel bottle breakdown of this year's 2025 batch. And it's going to be I'm going to open this right here. Now, one thing about wheats, a lot of times I'm going to probably, there we go. I got it in right into the thing. Open this, let out the air. A lot of times wheats in the bottle need a while, but for this case, I'm opening it tonight. I let it out. I let the air out. I'm going to slowly flip this over. Drop this back. There we go. I'm going to pour it in my Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glencairn. I have another Glencairn, which it won't be it. I'll just grab it over here. All right. Let's get back over here to make sure I'm not too out of control with this. Yeah, this is the one. I want to drop that back and put this one here. All right. I've got that in, and let's get this going. This is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company's barrel bottle breakdown of the 2025 1792 sweet wheat. I put it into the Glencairn Old Louisville Whiskey Company, Amin down there. My sympathies go out to him. He broke his ankle. He's going to be having surgery this week. So it's been kind of rough down there, but stop in, say hi to Amin and the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. It's an experience unlike any other. Give him a call, set it up by appointment, go over there, check out. Nothing that he releases is younger than 7 years, and he has all different things happening all the time. Ohio OHLQ and CT, along with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, along with Chris Thompson, CT, part of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Stacy Pritchard just did a barrel pick at Amin's with his broken ankle, and I'm sure that's going to be at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and you're going to want that because everybody was just raving about the barrel that they picked. Called, I think he's still. I'm pretty sure Jim Murray. I want to say he still does. I've gotten it a couple times. Still goes through and does. He had a little bit of a fallout during I gotta leave this here right now. Let's just keep that right there while we do this. The Old Louisville barrel bottle breakdown of 1792, the 2025. All right. Our barrel bottle breakdown is based off of Knox on this wonderful barrel behind me. You can get 4 Knox for the nose and the body, and you can get up to 5 Knox for the taste and the finish. But if one of the categories is exceptional, then you can give it up to a butt up, allowing somebody to give in only one category an extra knock. So a perfect bourbon is 19 of 18 because it gets that exceptional. So let's see what this 2025 1792 Sweet Week does. All right, I poured enough that it can roll. I love to do this because get it going on my bar. It completed the circle. All right. In my Glencairn, the viscosity it's holding to the glass. And that's one of the things, how it sticks on the glass. And then where does the drips are starting from the top. A lot of times they appear in the little teardrop area, the thickest area that it'll split, but but it's still sticking pretty good. Let's see. I mean, that's some nice, that's the oiliness of this and how it's sticking to the side of the glass and waiting to run back in. There we go. There's a couple of them dropping back in. The legs are long, like the whole thing of the glass. It's fantastic legs on this Glencairn. The Glencairn that we use as a tasting glass is always something that I like to watch. It's my favorite glass to taste out of. The other glasses, they are fine also, but this particular glass, you can roll it. That was kind of a cool thing you can do. But it's designed with this tulip shape, or teardrop shape, either way, that the bottom, the alcohol rises above, and then it gets condensed at the top, so that the nosing this, you can get the best possible aroma on the whiskey or the bourbon. I always feel that one of the things that Barton's does is that they just define what classic bourbon is. It's not a brand that's trying to do too much out of its wheelhouse. All of it consistently stays together, and it's the definition of what a bourbon should taste like. It's not trying to be too sweet. It's not trying to be in every aspect of the 12 year, the foolproof, the the small batch, the sweet wheat. There's also they have single barrels. They have a bottled in bond, and they have a finish one that a finished one in, I believe, port wine cask that is out there, but that one kind of goes outside the realm of what they're doing, what they've done with this line. It's something that is sought after because there obviously wasn't. I believe there's only been one batch of it. So here we go. On the nose, I get a toasted. I get like toast. Let's see. Vanilla. Yeah, it's very, very vanilla. Almost like a Brock's candy vanilla. One of those chews. At the top, oh, it smells so good. The more I smell it. And there's just a little bit of like what toast smells like. A toastedness. The vanilla's strong. Not cherry. Maybe a little bit of a toasted wheat. All right. So let's see what we got. God. I mean, it's like its name on the taste. All right. The body. Now, let's give a little bit of a stat on this. I'll to take a look at that. It is 91.2 proof. Crafted with sweet and delicate wheat instead of the more traditional rye, this bourbon is quite distinctive for most. The soft wheat delivers a subtle and smooth taste with gentle layers of flavor. Each sip expresses a harmony of sweetness and dryness. Enjoy this perfectly balanced flavor that will entice your senses. That's what's on the back. I agree. So I need to actually, yes, it's a wheated bourbon, but this is definitely, it is picking up the flavor. And when you say the dryness on there, it makes sense. The sweetness, this is, you pick up the barrel, a little bit of toast, a little bit oak, a little bit, but one of the things is there's a lot of flavor, but not a huge amount of spice. So it is what people do call, thank you, Ross, for staying in. Cheers. Talk to you soon. What I'm picking up is the drinkability of this 91 proof wheated bourbon. This is everybody who wants what would you say? So we got What are you drinking? Okay, so we got RD asking. We are drinking sweet wheat. Um, and that is a 1792 product. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey at 91.2 proof. Is that what it said? 91.2? I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yep, I still got that. Now, the 2023, are we still at 91.2? I want to say we're going to be, but so once again, it's an easy drinker. It has a lot of flavor. There's vanilla, tons of vanilla. And then it picks up a leather. So you do pick up the classic Barton's flavor in this, but it's a wheated, so it's smoother. It's got a lot more vanilla, and we're gonna give it up to the Old Louisville Whiskey Society Bourbon Whiskey Company Bourbon Bottle Breakdown. So, all right. Yeah, you could start to get that Brock's vanilla with that toasted. I'm going to say off of this, the nose, I'm liking the nose a lot. I will give the nose a 3 out of 4. All right. The body at 91.2. I mean, it's cheeks, it's everywhere. So I'm going to give the body. It gets everywhere. It's in the cheeks, under the tongue, the roof of the mouth. I got to give the body a 4. 4 knocks. We're at 7 of 8. All right. We're up to the 5. Now, just on the nose, I just pulled in a little cherry after it being in there. All right. I'm actually I pulled a little bit of cherry. Now, that little bit of wood or leather has turned cherry. And that's what I've been picking up in some of the wheats, and that helps me out. A little cherry. Wow, it's changing after it's sat and it's been open. I'm really liking that. I'm liking those flavors. I'm thinking for that. Yeah, Jason Garrett says it's a good looking bottle. I agree. The 1792 is very, very continental. I mean, it is, or what would you say? Colonial. It's colonial to me. It feels colonial, like it's from the time of 1700s. It's just kind of like a cool thing. I will say the taste, I will give this taste a 4 out of 5. The finish for a 91.2. Now, at first, the hug wasn't there. But now it's there perfectly. That burp had a cherry taste to it. That's crazy. I'm really... what it's doing in the glass is crazy. It's delicious. And now that that's a cherry finish, the finish is long. I mean, the finish is already... it was a little bitter for me because there's some tobacco coming through. But now it's like a cherry flavored cigar. And I got to decide. I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 also. It's long. I mean, this finish for this 1792 sweet wheat, it's whatever. So I'm going to give it a 4 also. So 15 out of 18. 3 out of 4 on the nose, 4 out of 4 on the body, 4 out of 5, and 4 out of 5 on the taste and the... so 15 out of 18 on the 2025. Now, I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to anyways. All right. Let's check out a wheated bourbon from 2023. Now, I picked this up last year. So I picked up 2023s and opened it last year at one point because I was able to get it. I didn't get the 2024. But this has been open now for a while. And one of the things about a wheated bourbon is that you should let it open and sit, because cherry bubblegum cigar. Okay, so you're getting that. John, you drinking along with us? John Ritt just said the cherry bubblegum cigar. And that's just like, I might, I don't know if it's bubblegum, but sure. I mean, we're talking the 2023 bottle, and we are gonna throw in and find out if it's better after it's sat for a year. Because I revisited this once, but I podcasted with it last year. I love the 1792 brand. I love their lineup. I mean, if afterwards, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, we might stay on a little bit and drink a couple of the 12 years or whatever. We'll figure this out, but at the same time, let's do another old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown. All right, we already know the scale, so here we go. What's in my glass? Let's see if it's changed. Yep, it's definitely pulled off a crap ton more of caramel. It's got the same, wheated, but there's way more caramel. And it almost has like a cast strength wheated. I mean, it's the signature wheat whiskey nose. I'm not picking up. I would say this nose is actually better, and I will go with, on the nose of the 2023, a 4. So it starts off ahead, 4-3. Let's see what it does in the glass. Sticks. Oh, really, really. That's just huge. Look, everybody out there, I'm going to hold that as close as I can, but geez. All right, here we go. I like the caramel that I'm picking up there, Randy. All right, here we go. Wow. So, body doesn't go to the cheeks, doesn't go. So, this body is going to be look good in the glass. It's a 3 on the body. So, it comes out switched around. The nose of 2025 is one less, and the body is one more. Now, okay, I can tell you right now the finish isn't the same. The finish of 2025 is definitely longer. But the taste, God, it gives me a moment of pure butterscotch and then to cherry. No bitterness. All right. I'm willing to bet the 2025 when it comes to taste will meet up. This is what happens to a weeded. As it's opened, you got to let it sit for a while. We just opened the 2025. So I'm going to do yeah, definitely I'm going to do on the taste. What are you going to So, Randy, what do you great legs. I give it a 4 on the body. I got leather on the nose. So, what are you getting on the taste? What are you going to give the taste? That's what I want to know because I know what I'm giving the taste. I want you to let me know because honestly, the sitting, I think this has perfected the taste. It's the strong point of this bourbon, and I'm going to give the taste a 5. It's not a up, but it's a 5. It's a weeded that I love, and there's this moment I had of butterscotch, and then it goes to the cherry. Right there's the butterscotch, like really intense butterscotch. So the part about this is it's over so fast. And this is so I'm going to give this a 3 on the finish. So, yeah, but John, I like get this momentary butterscotch intenseness, which then goes to the cherry, and it's so I don't get the hug, and it's a way shorter finish. So the finish is a 3, and both these are 15 out of 18. They got their different ways. I have a feeling I have a feeling, honestly, that the 2025 will rise up after a week or two. It should be pretty cool. So we just finished up with our old Louisville whiskey company barrel bottle breakdown of the 2023 sweet wheat and the 2025 sweet wheat, and they both tied at 15 out of 18. They both got it with, yeah, the finish is the 2025 finish is like fantastic compared to this one. This one, that's the weak point of the 23, but they'll both end up at 15 out of 18. And 15 out of 18, man, that's some damn good bourbon. I suggest, I know that Matt Leisen loves this, but I mean, the 2025 has, off of a fresh crack, really done a good job. That's for sure. If I ever make it done, okay. Yeah, we should somehow. I would go if Eric was going to host us there. He runs some great. He's had some great videos. Eric's. We love your support. Good to see or hear from you. All right. So we're right on time this tonight. We're gonna finish up the podcast on audio, and then everybody on YouTube and Facebook know that we're gonna stay on for up until I could probably go tonight till about 10 o'clock. So we're gonna finish up right now and see what happens. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Greg and Ross Cornelison and Greg Schneider for contributing on Facebook. I love you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on this podcast this Tuesday night. I didn't even get a chance to talk about what I did this weekend. I was down went down to Kentucky. We did a podcast with Brad Bonds alive, which anybody, if you've seen that, but I'm going to be loading the podcast at one point coming up. Brad is the owner operator of Revival Vintage Spirits and Bottle Shop in Covington, Kentucky. I went down there to do a little bit of research on Remus. I went to his house and the Death Valley, where he ran all of his businesses, had the address. So I went in those areas to see what it was like. I saw pictures. It was in the 1920s, 100 years ago, there was nothing there. Now there's neighborhoods that are older neighborhoods that the houses were built probably in the mid to late 30s after his property was seized and everything was ripped down. So, but it still was pretty cool to go there. And then I went over to Brad's, and Brad is sponsoring our bus tour this year, and that was fantastic. That we're going to have some fantastic pours, courtesy of the Revival Vintage Spirits and Bottle Shop. Brad is getting us what he can. But that bus tour is September 3rd. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be amazing. So then I carried back down to Louisville. I stayed at the Brown. Fantastic experience at the Brown. When in Rome. So once I got to the Brown, I checked in, set my air conditioner to as low as I possibly could because it was 90 degrees the whole weekend. And then I went down for dinner and I had a hot brown at the Brown. It's famous for it. It was fantastic. Came back up, changed, and then I went over to the Whiskey Thief Nulu location, which was 1.4 miles away. I took a Lyft, and my Lyft driver was fantastic. Got there and I hung out with I'm not even gonna, hung out with the staff. The staff there was fantastic. Live music. We did some barrel thieving, smoking of drinks. I was there from about 8 to 11. Walter Zausch, the owner, was and also sponsor of one of our sponsors of the Whiskey Thief, is a sponsor of the podcast. Walter was trying to make it, but he wasn't able to make it. So about 11:15, 11:30, I headed back to the Brown, spent the night, headed out the next morning, and went down to Frankfurt because I wanted to hang out at the Whiskey Thief farm. As I was going down, Walter informed me he wasn't going to be able to make it based off of family commitments and whatnot, but he said to go on over there. I got a ton of footage of, got to meet David Stillings, who does their tours there. Found out a lot about what David does and what his history is and how he got into bourbon. And we had lunch together. And then I was able to sample all the barrels, get all my footage for all of the shorts that we do. And I was there till about 4:30. Walter was thinking of coming over, but he made the great decision not to, uh, and then headed over to my hotel, the Fairfield Inn in Frankfurt, and proceeded to, because it was 90 degrees. It was, whether it's, I don't think it was heat stroke, but the sun got to me, and I got there and checked in and was in my room about 5:15. Was looking at some computer stuff, and before I knew it, I woke up with drool, and it was 7:30. I had to convince myself to go out, but I want to say something. I headed over in Frankfurt to the House of Commons. The House of Commons is a bar right down the street from the Capitol. It's called the House of Commons Bourbon Library, and you go in there, fantastic atmosphere. It is jazz and piano music playing, and it just has some of the greatest pours on the planet. It is vintage pours and current pours, and Dave there, who runs it, he's going to be on our bus tour. But Dave showed me a spectacular time. I've been there now 3 times. Both times that I was involved with Dave, I've tasted some fantastic whiskey. We just, it's a Saturday night. I was there till about 1:15 in the morning and had a fantastic time. Then got back into my room about 2 o'clock, woke up the next morning and headed off. Randy Prask, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and also the president and El Presidente of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and the president of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. I met him at Lowe's with my pickup truck, and we got fencing slats and all the wood to put up for his fence. And then we went out to breakfast, and I headed back. It was a fantastic. I thank Randy. I thank David. I thank Walter. Everybody was great to meet. I want to say Dave Stillings. I think that was it. And then, it's funny because at Whiskey Thief, you just feel like it's family. I've met Hannah down there. Caitlin was there. And then I got to meet, I want to say, Walter's nephews, which was Willem and it's not Evan, it's Easley. No, it's not. Oh my God. It's there, but I'm not getting it. But both of them are fantastic. I had such a good time at Whiskey Thief. I had such a good time at the House of Commons, and then such a good time with Randy, and Kate, and it just shows what bourbon means to the industry. All right, everybody. Just remember, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. www.scotchybourbonboys.com. Make sure you check us out. Check out our bios. Actually, Whiskey sent me his bio written by ChatGPT, and it was fantastic. I think I'm just going to have ChatGPT just look up Chris Thompson and CT and see what it writes for it, and we'll get that updated there on the podcast or on the website, www.scotchybourbonboys.com. You can pick up our merchandise, and you can pick up Glenn Cairns. Check it out. And then also we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, along with all the major podcast formats, including Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. But whether you listen to us or watch us, make sure you like, listen, subscribe, comment, and leave good feedback. Good feedback is very important. Remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Make sure that you don't drink and drive, drink responsibly, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. Good night, everybody. All right. Let's see. I've stopped it. All right. Let me save it. All right. One thing, everybody who knows me, published you for uploading. I'm just going to quick do this, and I'm going to put 1792. There it is. Save. All right. We're still live on YouTube and Facebook. Big White E. I'll talk with it, man. It's like tiny. A Big White E. Sorry, I was just paying attention. I didn't mean to. What's up? What you sipping on, man? All right, so we are on. We're off of the audio, but we're still on Facebook and YouTube. I am going to send the comments. Let's just see. I should be able to do this pretty quick because I didn't do the audio because that would have screwed up. All right, so here we are. Let's get this. Copy invitation. Anybody who wants to join us on... Uh-oh, I need that. Yep, there we go. Boom. Whoever wants to join in, I will throw the meeting over here. And then I probably have to turn up the audio. We'll see. Yep. We'll see. Well, I don't know. What? Wait. Why would I? Oh, it's because I'm still on Facebook. So I have to turn down the audio on Facebook. Let's do that. And then come here and turn it down there. Hey there, Randy. Hold on. I got to get my audio going. All right, here we go. I turned it off on Facebook. So you can talk now. I can hear you.
I just killed my audio, my Facebook, so that makes this work better.
Well, I still on Facebook. All right, what's happening? All right, so we're all up there. Randy, Walker, good to see you guys. Hey, John.
I asked Eric to join us. I hope he can.
I put it up there.
Yep. I just opened the foolproof. I'm gonna give it a try.
All right.
I'm starting to feel a lot better. I noticed today I actually had strength. I almost felt like going for a short run, like a 50-yard sprint.
Awesome, Randy. Glad you're feeling better, man.
It's like, talk about fanboy. You're wearing a Scotchy Bourbon Boys t-shirt, even though you're not on the podcast.
Might as well.
Hey, earn those points because you just did.
I'm gonna put this on. Let's see if I can.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, Tony, I'm gonna get you a sample of this. Just trust me when I say.
Hey, Walker. Go horizontal with your thing. With your phone. Horizontal.
As long as I'm on the Zoom, that's fine. When I'm on Facebook, I don't get the whole podcast.
Well, I know you're on Zoom now, so yeah, I get that while you're on when you're not on.
Yeah. So I have to do something else.
What's that?
Glassware.
No,
Love it.
but you have the one, the Rittenhouse one.
Yeah, that's the one he told you he was gonna get you a sample of.
Yeah, so this matches this bottle. It's a branded one for Ridgemont Reserve. I'm not sure this camera view does a very good job. Let's see if I can do it.
So
there we go.
So when's
Oh, I see that.
the last time they released Ridgemont Reserve?
Probably around 2014, because then at whatever point the small batch was introduced, they discontinued it. I'll move it back. Sorry, I'm so used to the other view. So this I'm
Walker, you
particularly
got something on the left side that's like you've got a lens cover, not totally open.
Yeah, it looks like you're shooting through a
Filter
circle.
something.
Yeah, it's a phone cover. It's just what I can do right now. It's an old phone cover. But I'm particularly proud of this because I have a barrel cabinet that has 1792 on the shelf, and I'm going to get the light in here. I'm sorry, I haven't done that yet. Let's see if I can cheat a little bit. I remember doing this with, yeah, that should
There you
work.
go.
Love that barrel.
So it's a Maker's Mark branding on the outside.
Yep.
But 1792 on my first shelf with small batch because I'm very much a 17. Brought 18 bottles here, 4 of which were open. So,
Well, I can tell you since Ross has been there, I'm a huge fan. Before, I liked it. I wasn't it wasn't a deterrent. I did enjoy Full Proof and I did like Sweet Wheat, but since Ross has been there, he's elevated it to a different level. It's just my opinion.
I think his mentor before him as well, because
Danny?
I think Greg Metz. Am I getting it? Or
Yeah, Greg Metz and the other guy too.
yeah. I'm gonna switch cameras back.
Quiet. Oliver.
So what'd you think of the podcast tonight?
It's good, man.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
I think
John.
it was more straightforward. A lot of times when we get extra people in, we end up with a lot of discussion that doesn't follow specifically what the podcast is about. And I mean, we all know you and love you, and we're going to sit and listen to you if you're selling peanut butter. But I think a lot of the folks come on just to hear about the whiskey. And we need to make sure we keep it that way. And I think tonight, from what I could tell,
Well, put it this way,
felt
Randy.
that way.
Randy, this way, I'm on 2 nights a week. Okay. So that's 100, that's up to 104, 52 weeks, 104 times a year. And maybe I've not gone over 100 a year. It's usually 96, 98 times a year. And if you're going to do that, it's good to have some. That's why I have Knobs. That's why I have you. That's why I'm bringing you on. That's why I bring CT and Super Nash, so that it's the one thing that I've always seen with podcasts is they get in a rut where they're just doing the same thing over and over. And one of the things you got to do stuff for some of the beginners, because when we started off, we were beginners and we did beginner stuff. But as we evolved, we have so much available to us as experienced or connoisseurs or more, to us, that you can do it. But you can't forget the new beginners that are starting. So that's why I have my son on. You know what I mean? He's a beginner. So you do beginner stuff with him. That's why we do international, because we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Do some Scotch, do some Japanese, do some Israeli. I think the next one, we should be doing the Israeli one. That's for sure, after what's happened.
Are we doing that? We were talking about August. Do we want to bump that up a little bit?
I don't know. We should do it at the beginning of no, because I think I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you end of July, first weekend of August, and I think you should be on that afterward, because then we can talk about what we did and the fun that we have. So that Tuesday after I see you on that weekend, that's the week I want to schedule you.
Right.
I think that makes sense.
Hey, Jeff, I like what you're doing, because when you say mixing it up and bringing in beginners and whatnot, like that helped me out, because like you guys have so much more knowledge of this. And like, I know I'm older, but like I haven't been into this real long. but like listening to you guys talk and your knowledge has helped me. But it's like being a teacher though too. You can't keep doing the same thing. It gets really boring and redundant, and you're going to keep your audience captive. I like that. So keep doing what you're doing, dude. It's working.
It's starting to. I mean, it's showing up in all of the stuff that I'm doing, and it's just like I'm doing this part time. Just imagine what happens in 3-4 years when I start doing this full time. We're gonna be doing something with bourbon going forward as far as a job, but then it'll be straightforward. And I mean, there's so much openings for
Hey.
what we can do.
Yeah, no, you come a long way, man. It's cool. I haven't been following you real long, but from when I started to now, definitely doing the deed, man. It's awesome.
It always helps to just stop by and do a tasting for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's like you said, it's about people though too. It's fun to meet new people, and you become friends, and you learn from one another. That's life though too.
You know, I don't like the way Walker reaches out to people on the podcast that he may or may not even know. I know he knows a lot more folks than I do. But like Eric tonight, I engaged with him. That's the first time I'd ever seen him on there.
Get that dude from Australia.
Yeah, but the fact that he's from Australia and that we're going to do an Australian whiskey.
That's cool. Starlight, right?
Yeah. Starwood.
Or Starwood.
Starward, W-A-R-D.
Starwood.
Oh, you're doing Starward? I have some of that in the samples. Okay, so know that when me and CT went to the Galena Whiskey Festival, I got to taste that and meet the people from Starward.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now it's a familiar brand for me. Oh, so what other 1792s does everybody have?
So Jeff, I sent you and Walker and Randy a text earlier. I got a blend of 23 and 24. It's not many, but I got the single barrel, which is that was a 2018. I was surprised. I looked at that laser coat. The 2018, and then I got a foolproof store pick. I got the sweet wheat from 23. And then bottled and bond I've got sitting up here too. So I've got 5 of their upper ones, I guess.
Yeah, I've got 4 open right now. I've got a Ridgemont Reserve, which is essentially small batch. I have an open bottled and bond, an open 12-year, and an open full proof, which is not a single barrel. I have a bunch of single barrel bottled and bond and full proof that is not open. I have about, give or take, call it 14 bottles between my bottle and bond and full proof store picks for the most part. But those
So
are
I got 12-year too. So
Yeah, I'm about where these guys are. I've got small batch, bottle and bond, 12-year, sweet wheat.
Single barrel?
I got a single barrel, I think, and then I've got several of these foolproof store picks.
yeah,
Yeah, but
are like heavy.
Yeah, but so foolproof store picks are not foolproof, Randy. You need to get foolproof the blend.
Well, whatever these are.
No, but I'm saying,
125.
yeah, the foolproof store picks are okay, but they are hot.
125.
All right, so I'm gonna get that What?
That blackjack store pick I got you is not.
All right, Walker. I'm gonna go get foolproofs out my. So everybody knows the importance of 1792. You all know I love Bookers, right? So Walker, you've seen my Bookers at my house, right? And you too, Randy. It's everywhere. But 1792 is in this cabinet.
Fair enough.
And this, okay, so I've got.
I don't have a store pick open right now of the full proof. I'm just sitting there. As you said, the blended full proof.
Yeah, that's stuff.
All right. So I'm pulling the 2 foolproofs out. I've also got 12-year. I've got single barrel and bottled in bond. The only one I don't have, like I said, is the port finish, right? What's that one called, Walker?
That's exactly what it's called. It's a
There's a
purple
port finish
label.
and there's a Ridgemont. There are three that we haven't mentioned. The Ridgemont, I think that's what you have.
Yeah, but the Ridgemont they don't even do anymore, do they, Walker?
They don't do the port finish
They don't do
anymore
port
that I
finish
know
either.
of.
No, that's not true. They haven't done the port finish, but in my opinion, they're gonna do it again. So the Thomas More brand, which they do there, came out with its port finish, and I think that was even 1792. But that's the Ridgemont. Is that the one that they got sued over?
One of the two, yes.
So,
The previous one is called Ridgewood. This was the replacement called Ridgemont. Then they got sued again. So they just renamed it to 1792 small batch.
all right. So here we.
2013 to 2015. I'll have to go back and look at.
All
the
right,
years.
we're getting out the telescope again.
Those laser codes can be a bitch to read.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. So this is the Charlie's.
It's like a lightsaber you got going on there.
It's like I said, let's see. All right. This is a 19. So this is the year of when foolproof, and then the blackjack is 23.
Yep. That was your Christmas present.
along with 42 other bottles. Whatever. He sent me. I saw Walker at the Brown, and he sent me up with. I'm just like, he filled up my pickup truck with stuff. I'm like, what is going? He's sending me up with Russell's 13. He's sending me up with a whole case of 1792 to distribute to everybody. I mean,
Yep.
And then if you remember, Walker, we met online and you were following, and you were going to come up for not last year's, but you were going to come up for the other Christmas party, but then COVID screwed it all up, right?
That's right.
So,
and I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want that to be the way that people remembered me, and I wanted to do something different. So we exchanged gifts beforehand, or maybe after. Maybe after. And yeah, I was really appreciative just to get to meet you, not to mention to get to drink with you. And then we had a plethora of things. You brought me some stuff from Brad Bonds and Revival, and we had pours together. I sent you the picture of the bar I had arranged in our room on top of a chest of drawers.
you were that night at the Brown. We went up there, and I was just beat to living hell. And it's like Walker's like, try this, try that, and before you know it, I was trying it, and he was pulling the Glen out. I was asleep, and he took the Glen from me.
We ended up doing that from you somewhere else too, just recently.
Yeah, you're always doing it to me. It's just like when I gotta get down there. Well, that was fun at Old Homestead.
We just didn't want you spilling the Glen and having to sleep in a wet bed, so we took it out of your hand.
I don't mind. It's like that. Don't waste the whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, we're friends. I can be a better friend instead of just being the one that would paint your face or pour it on you.
Put a mustache
Oh,
on
Walker, I took that lipstick out of your hand so you wouldn't paint his face.
Randy, I told you we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like the only
It's on
reason.
video now, man.
Thank God that Sarah gave us the earplugs.
Yes. She reached out to me today to see how the surgery went. That was very nice of her.
Well, we give a shit about you.
You guys did too. Thank you. I do not see a laser coat on this anywhere.
Not on the back. Look really
It's
low.
either the back low or the front low. Go to the.
I did, and it looks like it's gotten wiped off, honestly.
Yeah, some of those older ones do get wiped off, man. Hey, Jeff, did you get the little book, chapter 9, the None for Granted yet?
No, I have not. I'm thinking of doing it at the festival. I'll probably wait and have Freddie sign it.
Yeah, that's cool. They're all over the place here, man. And get this, man. So our Bennies around here.
Did you see that? Did you see Maker's Mark, Walker, that Ohio released their chef 3 chefs from Ohio and 3 bottles? That's going to be really. I'm going to go to tomorrow. I'm going to the liquor store to get the collection of Maker's Mark that they did the picks with OHLQ.
No, I did not see that. That's wonderful. If you need a lost recipe mocha, they have tons here, and I can get you one. I did not see that. I also reminded.
Do they got any of the when I was with Dave, I got to taste the Maker's wheat whiskey. Did they have you seen any of those, John?
John had.
I got one for Randy. I have not seen them since, so I'm hoping they'll come back. But they came and went real fast, man.
Okay.
It was not much, but it's good whiskey.
Oh, it's damn good. I tasted it at the House of Commons.
Stargate Farms.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really not bad at all. You're right.
Everybody said it's so low profile for them, and I looked at them like, you realize I have like 61 bottles of Maker's Mark. I like the profile. Have a nice day.
I said
You know
that.
what? I didn't care for the wheated.
All right. So this is the bottle Nash sent up in 2019.
Oh.
Charlie's, and I'm telling you, it's not hot anymore.
What is it? I see the black on the top.
The full proof, right?
It's the full proof.
Okay, yeah, because I just pulled out a single barrel and it's only.
This is before, this is before we started podcasting. This is how Nash made his thing. Now,
Damn, laser codes are a bitch to read.
yeah, I need readers to do it.
I mean, I got readers and I still can't see it, but shit.
So the only two, I got 3 bottles, Walker, when I was there. So I just want to tell you guys.
24. Okay.
This bottle right here, when I was down, so I got that. I got a Taylor small batch from Buffalo Trace, and then the other bottle I bought was an one of the old fashioned mixes from Buffalo Trace.
Well, that's nice.
But this bottle from Whiskey Thief was the best bottle. This is the best barrel I tasted since I've gone there.
Is that the festival pick or is that a different one?
Nope. There was 10 barrels I tasted from, and this one was the last one, and it's separated from all the barrels of Whiskey Thief I've ever tasted. And you want to know what it is?
Sure.
It's a freaking rye.
Yep.
I was gonna say it looks like a rye label.
And I love it. I've got it.
You don't have this barrel.
What barrel number is it?
This barrel was there last weekend.
Okay, it wasn't there the weekend before.
Well, I'll tell you the barrel. It's 67.3, 134.6. Six year. I wonder what R1 stands for. 95.5 rye. That is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. It's nuts to me.
And you're not a rye guy.
Oh, well, I'm starting to turn into a rye guy at Whiskey Thief.
Yeah.
Here's Whiskey Thief Mayday rye that Walter gave me that I'm going to try and taste. But look at the difference. I want you to look at that.
The one on your left is darker.
Oh, it is. It's lots darker.
It's not as high proof.
It's 136, and this is 141.
Mayday's 146.
146, yep.
Damn.
Yeah, 146, and this is 136. It's Mayday Rye 95.5.
Mayday is tasty. Yeah.
Are those 375s, Jeff?
Yes.
It's you want to know what 375s are to me, John?
Perfect.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Well, that's all well and good, This 750 from the Bourbon Festival is going to be nice.
I've got that, Walker. You know I've got that.
I know you do. It's not a statement. I'm not trying to one-up you.
I got their first weeded they ever did.
I did.
And their weeded was cherry, and it was good, and I was going to get it. And then the last one I tasted was the Whiskey Thief rye in the second batch of of a total of 10. Holy crap. And I'm telling you guys, the heat today, I can't drink too much more because I got to make sure, because the heat got to me.